Welcome to the Contact Center Cactus Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Mulvin, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Kayan from Dumaguete City, Philippines.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. Started my first business 10 years ago, and 6 LLCs later, I started PacBiz Contact Center Outsourcing in 2015. Today, we have over 200 employees and growing.
And I'm the operations manager here in PacBiz, and I've been working with Eric since 2014, and I grew as the company grew.
So whether you're looking to outsource for the first time, whether you manage a contact center, or you're just looking to improve your customer experience, we'll be covering topics for you.
So business managers, operations managers, business owners, this is for you, so make sure to subscribe.
Well, the last episode, we talked about a little bit about mostly my story and what led to PacBiz, and we talked about that very first client. So today we're going to talk about how we went from 4 employees in 2015 to over 200 today, and a global, not enterprise or empire, but global operations. You know, UK, Canada, the US. We're working with companies in Australia, and so yeah. And Jake is representing the Philippines side of the international operations. So
From the very beginning, like, on my side here in the Philippines, there were just 4 of us, and we take calls for this company, and it was a simple job. Like, all I need to worry about is not making mistakes, the names and the addresses of the people that we're going to be doing the pickup for the taxi drivers. So from that responsibility, slowly there are things that are introduced, like you need to take care of this, and and additional people came along, and who else would take care of them? So it's us. So there were the management part of the role was slowly introduced to us, and until it arrived, like it's just one day I realized, like, and I'm doing something else. It's a lot different than how it started, and right now we're over 200 people here in the Philippines.
Yeah, and I love hearing your story and that side of it, because you're talking about taking calls, being on the front lines, answering the phones, and so you got that frontline experience, and you've been able to move up in the company as the company grew. And I feel like it's a big part of PacBiz. We have these core values that, if you guys keep listening to the show, you're going to hear a lot about: family, respect, teamwork, compassion, and personal growth. And personal growth, we didn't uncover these core values until after COVID started. So we've been around for 5 years before we realized, wow, like, family is the most important thing to PacBiz, and compassion and teamwork, personal growth. But we lived it from day one. Like, that's why Jake started taking calls for my own taxi company, and then other taxi companies, and then he started managing those people taking calls for other taxi companies. But he knew what it took to improve himself, to get better, and the work it takes. And I feel like that's so important in a call center, when you have all these people that are professionals in careers and they've never answered the phone. That has an impact on how you manage and how you interact with the clients. Jake, today he works with all of our clients in the UK. He's also, in addition to operations manager, he's also account manager. And so, main point of contact for all those businesses. And I always tell everybody, like, this guy is the best guy in the world to work with if you're a taxi business and you want to outsource, because he knows the ins and outs of the taxi business. He knows the ins and outs of the call center jobs, of the supervisor jobs, of the manager job. Like, he's worked all of those levels, and so he can go and talk to the supervisor when the agent's making mistakes, and he knows exactly, like, this is what you need to do. This is what you could do to help fix it, because he's been doing it for like a third of his life, a quarter of your life almost.
And some part of it, like fixing the technical issues here, and sometimes I do some fixing personally, like any problems can be opened up, like that's how we do here in PacBiz. We're a family, so yeah, that is, it's different. It's, people here are close, and it's, this is how we run our business here. So I can relate it to on how we work with the client. Like, I know people here, everyone is worried about, like, if they're not doing anything right, and that's something important, and that's gonna reflect on how the business would go, and not just here in PacBiz, but for the company that we work for, and we make sure that we're doing it right. And I can see a lot of businesses who are improving, and we learned the important part of the taxi company, the businesses, how we provide good customer service, and how we put all the details correctly. No shows and completed bookings are really on the right numbers, and so that's how we do.
If you guys are a taxi company listening, you're probably like, wow, this guy, he knows the industry. He's talking my language. And that's how we got our start, is taxi. But that wasn't all we did. Starting in so we started 2015, 2016, we got our second client. We got referred out to another company that needed like 15 people. So we went from 4 people to 15. And I was actually, this is an interesting story. Right before that happened, I was like, all right, I don't know what to do with this call center. Like, I think I need to go back to school. And I was going to go back and get my MBA. And I went to business, WP Carey. That's where I graduated from for my bachelor's. It's like, I'm going to get my master's. And I went to a night where they were introducing you to the staff and telling you overview of the curriculum, and you're bringing your family, because that's going to be a big sacrifice for the family. So they want you to see what you're getting yourself into, meet some of the other people trying to go through that. And like the next week, I find out that we got referred to another business, and everything changed from there. I never looked back. We talk about personal growth, and we talk about it from our staff, from our own perspective. Like, Jake and I have grown a lot personally, but our clients too. That's a huge part of what we do here, because almost every business that we've worked with from the beginning is still with us. 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, these guys are still with us, and we've been able to see them grow. We know they're growing because they're reaching out to Jake. They're working with Jake, adding staff, and we grew to not only just offer more support to these businesses, but also like the kind of businesses that we work with. So 2017, we started working with e-commerce, and we grew that. And we, over the years, actually, we recently become HIPAA compliant. And now we have actually several nurses taking calls for taxi companies. And with personal growth, we want to be able to offer work for those people in healthcare. And actually this summer, we're getting ready to start with our first business up in North Scottsdale. So I'm really excited about that, because that's another expansion of where we were, the little taxi company, and Jake and I taking calls for this taxi company, to now we're a big part of businesses' operations. So that's what we're all about here at PacBiz and the Contact Center Cactus Chat podcast. We want to talk about strategies, talk about ways to help outsource so that you can focus on why you started this business. It wasn't to start a contact center. That's our job. It's to run your business, to focus on your passions, whatever that industry is, who your customers are. You're being distracted by your call center. And so we could help with that. And so again, I'm Eric Mulvin, owner of PacBiz.
I'm Jake Kayang, the operations manager here in the Philippines.
Yeah, and thank you guys for listening to episode 2 of the Contact Center Cactus Chat podcast. And we'll see you next week, where we'll be talking about hiring in episode 3. Thank you guys for listening.
See you guys.